thinking.
I think they do if they're on the same longitude line.
No, they don't.
They do. If you take it at the same time, one in the north, one in the south, on the same longitude line, it's going to look similar. You're just going to look at it one from the. It's not going to look upside down. Put it that way.
It does indeed.
No, not if you're on the same longitude.
The view that I see in the UK, chaps down in Australia, to them it will appear upside down to how I view it.
Not if they're on the same longitude line.
No, the longitude line makes not one shit's worth of difference.
Absolutely, it does.
Explain that then, Gary. How is that possible?
Yes,
something that nobody's doing. Yeah,
because everybody on this, if you're on the same longitude line, one's just looking at it from the south, one's looking at it from the north, but it still has the same alignment. When you see the different alignment is if they're on a different longitude line.
No.
So that let's say it's at the end of their night compared to the beginning of your night, and you're on different longitude lines. You will see it differently then.
So Gary made a claim that the moon would look the same depending on where you are on Earth. Now we went through this, I don't know, the other day on Jose's stream, and well, not in the stream, but we went over it in an after show. So this is just like a practical demonstration of how, of course, Gary's wrong, like Gary is always wrong. So here we go. So right here I have a ball, and I have, of course, a picture of the moon on the wall. I don't have an actual moon, but what I did was I used my webcam placed on the ball. Now the ball isn't really accurate, but it's just to show that when you're on a ball viewing something from a certain angle, it's going to look different depending on where you are on that ball, right? So I'm on the top, so that's what it would look like if you're on the top. And if you slide down, you start to see the orientation change. Now, I mean, a normal person would understand this, right? But for some reason, Gary thinks that he's somehow right. We gotta mute this. Yeah. So for some reason, Gary thinks he's right. Now, this clearly shows that, you know, if you change your orientation along the same longitude, you know, what you're viewing is going to look different. I mean, it's pretty simple. I mean, I don't understand how Gary can't figure this out, or he can't understand this, but yeah. I mean, it doesn't get any simpler than that. So I'm trying to get Gary in here. Come on, Gary. Come into the, please come into voice chat so I can show you this. I'll share my screen too. I sure will. Wait, hold this for a second. Right here. Come on, Gary. I just want to show you this. Let's come on in here. Yeah. So if he comes in, I guess I'll show him. Let me get out of here. Yeah. X this out. Get out of this Dex thing here. Well, how do I get out of here? Yeah. Okay. All right. So now I'm gonna go to Space Engine. We're gonna do the same exact thing. This is why I showed him the other day. He would not. He would not listen at all. Gary just refuses. He literally refused to look at this. He would not look at it. So, where are we at? I'm going to do this again. So we'll go here. And what's cool about this is I can actually put the grid lines on here. Geographic grid, right? Right, so here we are. Here's the geographic grid. And first, let me make sure and see where the heck we're at. I'm not sure where we're at on the globe. All right, so let's go somewhere. Let's go back to where we were that day. So I think we were. It's weird. Okay, so we'll just go here, right here. All right, so let's fast forward so we get the moon. Let's just go over here. Wait for Africa to come back around. All right, right about there. Now, we're gonna stay along this longitude line right here. So, we're on this latitude line right here. Longitude, I'm sorry, longitude. And we're gonna go down. Try and stay right on this longitude line. We're gonna go pretty north. And we're gonna stay right on this longitude line. Go down to the ground. Right? And then we're gonna look out. There's our longitude line. We're still on it. And we are going to fast forward until the moon comes up. Let's wait for the moon. And he wants it right at moonrise. Right? Where is it? Come on, moon. There it is. All right. Now, just to show Gary that we're right at moonrise, we'll get a little ways up and look at the moon. It's right there. We'll back it up a little bit so that it. Wait. All right. Slow it down a little bit. We're going to back it up just a little bit so we can get it right at the horizon. Because I guess Gary thinks that thinks for some reason it's going to be different. All right, so it's right at moonrise. Matter of fact, I'm going to have to go forward because as soon as I go down, of course, it's going to go below the horizon. So let me go forward. And right about there. All right, so now we're going to go down to the ground. All right, so there. All right, moon is risen. Now, we're going to zoom in. Zoom in on the moon. It's right there. Of course, we're going to have to remove the grids. Gary, just come on in here, man. Come on. Why? I don't understand why when I showed this to him, he was so upset. He did not want to see this at all for some reason. Let me see. Move the grids. And bam, there's our moon. Let's zoom in some more. So that's what the moon looks like at moonrise in the northern hemisphere. Let's take a screenshot of that real quick. Let me see. Let's get a screenshot. That. Let's see. It's got Latin longitude, so I'll leave that on there too. That way, we know we have a reference. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. Save as. Sorry, I typed really slow. North Hemisphere, whatever. Okay. Now, we're zoom out. And since we still have we're going to put our grids, let's put our grid back on. Geographical grid. X out of there. Now, since we still have our geographical grid, we can travel all the way to the south. So we'll go up. Right? There goes Italy, and we'll go south. Wait. We're going south. Make sure we're going south. We'll go to South Africa. And we'll go down. Let's go as south as we can go on South Africa. Right about there. South Africa. On the ground in South Africa. All right, so now and we're going to look up. This is weird. This is where it gets weird because you can't. Okay, there it is. There's the moon. Okay. Now, we're in the southern hemisphere and we're looking at the moon. Right? Southern hemisphere. Let's make sure that we are right at moonrise. Let's see which direction is the moon going. Let me make sure. Okay. Yep. Wow, it's even traveling in a different direction. But let's back it up because I want to make sure we get right at moonrise, right? Okay. Right there. Bam. Okay, now let's zoom in. We'll zoom in. Right? We're still on this. Make sure we're on the same latitude line still. Yep, we're still on the same latitude line. I'm sorry. Longitude line, as Gary claimed. He said it'll be different on different. It'll be the same. It'll look exactly the same if you're on the same longitude line. That was Gary's claim, right? So now we're going to zoom in. We're going to zoom in. And we're going to remove the grids. Right? And this is what we see. This is what we see. All right? You see, I want to get the ground. Okay. There we go. Let's take a screenshot of that. Let's get a screenshot of that. Yeah. Doesn't look like the same. I don't know about anybody else, but it looks a little bit different. That's definitely a different orientation. And moon. Southern. Yeah. Now. Done. Done and dusted. So I don't know what to tell you, Gary, but on this model here, the model that this model of Space Engine, which is a pretty accurate model of our solar system, and definitely a good model for our Sun, Moon, and Earth galaxy. System. According to this is pretty accurate. This is, you know. It doesn't get any more accurate than this. Let's get out of here. And so here's the one from the southern hemisphere, right? We'll put that over here. Let's see if I can make that a little bit smaller and get both of them on the screen. So here's the one from the southern hemisphere. And here's the one, I'm sorry, no, this is the one from the northern hemisphere. This is the one from the southern hemisphere. So again, you can still see how they're both different. It's switched. It's completely opposite. I mean, Gary does not want to come into the VC. I'm trying to show you something, Gary. I mean, I know you can. I know you don't care, but I mean, look, this is the evidence right here, man. Your claim is fucking debunked. Your claim is debunked, man. Look. Completely opposite. One from the northern hemisphere, this is the southern hemisphere. This is the northern hemisphere. So it's literally opposite. I guess he's going to want to claim, oh, it's not upside down. Well, I thought you said it would be upside down. No, it's not. Okay, it's not upside down. But the reason why it's not upside down is because you're both looking out towards the horizon at the moon. So of course they're not going to be upside down. Now if you wait till the moon is like directly above you or some in the sky, then yes. The farther in the sky the moon goes, it's going to look more upside downish, I guess you could say. But I mean, yeah. So that's what it is. Sorry, Gary, you're wrong again. You are wrong again. I mean, and I don't know what else to tell you, man. I mean, just the fact that you really don't want to, you don't want to be wrong. I understand you don't want to be wrong. I got it. But, I mean, you're just wrong, dude. Very simple. Anyway, that's all I wanted to show. I just wanted to show Gary, well, if he was actually paying attention, he would see it, but it's not like he's ever going to really pay attention. He just wants to still talk about narrow angles and, you know, stuff like that. So, anyway, thanks again.